first thing we're going to do, though, is kind of organize the parts, lay them out, get it all ready to go, get the clamps ready, and then we'll work together on the first table, so you can just see how that goes. Now the idea is we are not going to spread oodles and gobs of glue, and so I'm going to really be directive about that when we start. We want just enough glue, just like in every other thing we've done. You want the surface coated, you want it wet with glue, but you don't want it where it's going to squeeze out over everything, right? Okay, so I think, Will, you're ready to go.
Yes.
Is that right? So I think we're going to start with Will's table. And so let's gather the clamps we need and the glue we need. Set it there. Okay, so this is the key. You got all the clamps, you've got everything you need to clean up, you know where everything goes, we can start spreading glue, right? So I like to have small spreaders available. And so what you want to do is lay a bead of glue right at that entrance. That.
Excuse me.
And then let's spread that. Okay, and I'll glue these tenons. The Band-Aid's from a dog, not from a woodworking accident. A young puppy with very sharp claws. Okay, I want you to kind of look at this because we've got a thin layer of glue, right? And it goes all the way, covers everything. We're going to put a bead down this long grain to long grain joint, since it is a functional joint. Put this together.
Can you grab a mallet or?
Yeah, let's grab a mallet.
When you say it's a functional joint,
Well, long grain to long grain is a real glue joint.
I see.
It won't come apart.
We got that other cabinet locked up with the.
Oh, okay. Let's do the same thing here.
Okay.
Lay a bead of glue. You can rest that right there, and you put a glue bead right at the top of the entrance. And on the bottom, and then
Let's run a second level.
Yeah. So one thing I would advise on this, Will, is to ease the edge of the tenon. So I would soften this in the future,
Okay.
so that it doesn't scrape the glue as it comes down.
with a file or
Yeah, or
chisel
sandpaper.
Okay.
It's just a little, just a little softening. All right, why don't you go ahead and put that in?
Perfect fit.
Did you have dry fit them? Like the whole thing?
It's a big lot of work.
Yeah, I don't advise dry fitting the whole cabinet. You dry fit each joint
Sections.
individually, right? Because what happens is it becomes difficult to take apart. The arrow points up.
8.7.
So with the biscuits, we're actually depending on the biscuits for structure. And so I like to get a fair amount of glue on them. And I'll just line them up and and put a good dollop on them, stack them. And then you can do the same thing you did, if you would. Just lay just a little bead like that on both faces.
For these beads, Michael, do you find that these bottles are better than the type? You know, the Type On bottles have the flat opening.
Right. Yeah, those work okay. Those work just fine. I've used both.
We don't need to rush out and buy bottles to replace our Type On bottles.
That's right. Type On is just fine.
I was about to leave right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
I prefer those. I do prefer the ketchup bottles. I don't know if that's just because I've used ketchup bottles for so long. You know? So if it's like this, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Just checking. We'll do the same thing. I'll generally then, on this long grain, I'll put a bead across this long grain at the top that's going to squeeze out. But I'm not really wanting glue to squeeze out onto that waxed surface where the drawers are going to run. Okay, so let's stab this in there, and you can go ahead and spread glue now on those biscuits. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to plug in these tenons, and we're going to keep this off of these, and then we're going to lower it and line these up to where they plug in, right?
Yeah.
So let's get these a little bit more in line with each other. And then we'll have to push them around when we get that on there. So I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to plug in the tenons, okay? Let's get that one started. Now you can use your mallet to just get that going about a quarter to half inch. Yeah, just like that. Come on down. Looking good. Beautiful. All right. Now let's start, lining these up. Beautiful. All right. At this point, let's stand it up. Okay. And we've got a clamp. You're going to manage that top. You have a short one to start with. If you would, just have the protection just stick out 1/8 of an inch out the front. Just like that. Come straight across that joint. We're coming. Okay, now you'll watch those go in. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get one on the other side now. Clamp straight across, so when you pull, you're pulling straight and not twisting things. Okay, and these are still together. Let's put one down there. And just hold them up 1/8 of an inch or so. Close that clamp. Beautiful. Just keep that from doing anything crazy wrong. Everything's looking pretty good, huh? All right, another clamp across here then. Let's make sure this is lined up at this point, so we may need to pull it around a little bit. And remember, these should just line up on those, so we need to pull this frame back this way a little bit. The next step is inspecting all of the joints and just seeing if we've got closure everywhere.
Got a pretty big gap right here.
So let's see if we can put a little more on that and just see if that'll close. Tell me what happens.
There it goes. Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
A little right here. Or
That
we can
joint's tight.
systematically go through it.
Yeah, let's get through.
Right there.
Yeah, and you can see that's a little bit overcut, isn't it? You
Yeah.
see how it's tight
Oh, it's
there?
tight on the bottom.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be
Well,
able to squeeze that.
let's move that clamp out. And let's see if that makes any difference. The thing about some woods will, you can cheat a little bit by getting a little bit of crush,
Yeah.
Does that make a difference?
Yeah, a little bit. Close up a little bit.
If it takes a lot, it's not going to stay there,
Yeah. What about like the insides right here?
Yeah, just a slight overcut on the sides.
Yeah. Or when I took it out the bandsaw.
Yeah, I guess. Or, it's just when you're going around that cut on the table saw, doing the shoulder cuts, if it's not absolutely perfect, It's pretty good though. Looks real good. I'd say if we had an extra clamp, we'd throw another one in the middle.
You could probably.
For tiny, tiny, tiny ones, you can pretty well ignore them. The stuff on the wax, that dripped on the wax,
Yeah.
like that, we're gonna let it harden for about 20 minutes and then go in and scrape it off.
So just leave everything on the inside right here.
For now, leave it, yeah. And then we can try and make adjustments on these at this point too.
What do you mean by adjustments?
Knock that down.
Okay.
So we'll slack off on this guy.
Move that off.
It did not. So we'll probably have to live with that. Let's go ahead and tighten it back up.
One second.
Expected it to. Okay. So yeah, it's cleanup time. Ta-da! And the thing about cleanup is you want to make sure you go after it until all of that white is gone. If you've got a light, use it. So you see that white that's showing?
I do, yeah.
Okay, good, good. As long as you see it, you know what needs to happen. All right, so everyone else, Will went through the checklist. I watched him go through the checklist and got all of those little details down. So let's everybody do that. And as soon as the next person is ready, we can go to that piece.